Welcome back, true believers and spectacular Spidey fans, to another Spider-Man related video. This is my dad here, and we just finished watching Avengers Infinity War. We literally just got out of the theater, and we're about to drive back home, and what a movie. That was insane. I think the craziest part was just how everything actually worked. Like a movie 10 years in the making since 2008. Yeah, the first Iron Man movie with Robert Downey Jr. Yeah, the first Iron Man movie came out in 2008. And seeing how Marvel came together, did all this, and actually managed to pull it off is nuts. And this is no spoilers, so this part of the review is no spoilers. So what was your favorite part about the movie, or who's your favorite character, I should say, instead? Me personally, Spider-Man was really great. I think I loved Tom Holland's performance as Spider-Man, but I would have to say Robert Downey Jr., honestly, as Iron Man stole the show for me, since he created the Marvel Cinematic Universe with the first Iron Man movie, and seeing how his performance was in this movie was fantastic, and I just thought it was great. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of like, well, definitely, well, you know me, I love Tony Stark,
yeah,
Robert Downey Jr., but I was actually, the thing that got me the most, I was amazed on how well that they mixed the Guardians of the Galaxy characters. I really didn't think that was going to work, but it worked great.
Me neither, because the way on how everyone interacted equally with Thor, the main Avengers, and the Guardians of the Galaxy actually having equal screen time. I think on how they weren't, no one was thrown under the bus. No one, oh, where was that character? Where was this character? Everyone was shown off, I think, in a good way, in a good amount of time. And the performance, mainly, I think, even though I think my favorite performance from the heroes, I guess, was from Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, Thanos, I think, stole the show.
Wow. Well,
as the villain by Josh Brolin was fantastic.
That's a scary character. Yeah, I mean, that was creepy scary, but that's good.
I wasn't expecting it to be that hardcore, because he's a fully CG character in the movie, and you can only do so much with CGI nowadays, but Marvel went above and beyond with that. Like how he looked, you could see the wrinkles in his face, the scars, and his armor and everything, and the henchmen of Thanos, all those henchmen, the mini spoiler right here, Squidward. Yeah. They called him Squidward. That was great. And I think just overall with the visual effects and the performances from everyone, and the ending, especially, no spoilers, but the ending, I think, is really like what's going to happen next. Yeah,
it's totally thought-provoking. The couple of things that I loved about the movie, the soundtrack was totally amazing.
Oh, the music was phenomenal.
With all the special effects, a lot of times we go see movies, I'm watching it and I'm realizing all the special effects that it takes away. But this movie, you see the movie and you just into the movie, and you don't even really think about the special effects. Which is great.
Exactly.
And the soundtrack's like that too.
I think the soundtrack carried the main movie itself, with in certain points where the music hits hard, and really hard at certain moments. I won't spoil it, but it really made the scene much more impactful when viewing it, I would think.
It takes it a whole different league, that whole movie. It's serious, it's thought-provoking, it's funny, it's intense, there's some scary parts. I mean, everything you'd want in a movie is in that movie.
Absolutely, and seeing, you get obviously hardcore action scenes with all the superheroes that you want. You get really dramatic scenes with characters that you think something was going to happen with this way, but then it actually happened another way. But I think everything about the movie is perfectly touched upon.
Oh yeah, it's 5 stars. It's totally worth it. Great movie.
Absolutely.
Highly recommend it.
I definitely recommend it too. And we saw this on Sunday, not the premiere on April 27th, but on April 29th. So we saw it a couple days later, but still, it was totally worth the wait.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
It was great.
But do you think Spider-Man PS4 is going to top this though?
Well, it's going to be awesome. Yeah, but just watching all the special effects with Tom Holland, and all the swinging, just in the back of my mind, I'm thinking of the game. Wow, I can't wait till that game comes out.
I think, even though, as you guys know me, I was really looking forward to this movie, and it definitely paid off. The amount of excitement I'm feeling for Spider-Man PS4 can't come close to what I was feeling for this. Like, the game itself is above and beyond how I feel about this movie. This movie was amazing, but obviously we're still much more excited for Spider-Man PS4. Yeah. I get it's a movie and a game, but I think given what Marvel managed to pull off in this movie was spectacular.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, but anyways, guys, that was our little short spoiler review. Hope you guys liked it. Thanks to my dad for actually wanting to do this video last minute. And we hope you enjoyed our little non-spoiler discussion. And I'm going to be talking about spoilers next, so stay tuned for that. But anyways, guys, see you next time. Bye.
See ya.
And we're back. Welcome back, true believers and spectacular Spidey fans, to part 2 of my Avengers Infinity War review, and I think that this is going to be a pretty in-depth discussion about spoilers, because that first part with my dad, thanks to my dad, by the way, for doing that totally off-the-cuff semi-review of the movie. That was directly after we saw it. We were in the car just about to go home, and I thought it'd be fun if he just kind of did this little small review with me about the movie, and it was fun. So that was the non-spoiler part. This is full-on spoilers, so if you don't want to know any spoilers about the movie, just wait until you see it and then come back. So basically, everyone dies, pretty much. Basically, the entirety of the Avengers die in this movie. At least a good amount, or at least the main popular ones, or at least a lot of the Guardians. The only Guardian left alive is Rocket, and of course, Bucky dies. We also have Black Panther dies, which is incredibly sad, and Scarlet Witch and Vision are dead too. You know, I think the Grandmaster is, I mean, not the Grandmaster, the Collector is dead. I mean, even though he's not an Avenger, he was just a character that showed up briefly, where Thanos was getting the Reality Stone. I'm pretty sure he is dead. And Loki, of course, and just a whole bunch of other people like Doctor Strange and Mantis, and just, of course, our boy, rest in peace. But wow, I mean, I wasn't expecting that. So sadly, just to let you guys know, I was on the internet beforehand of, you know, seeing Infinity War, and I got spoiled, sadly. I got spoiled of, the snap of the Infinity Gauntlet and the part where Peter says, "Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good." So I saw that line, but I didn't know what they were talking about. And then like people were just like posting pictures of them crying with the text, so I didn't get it. But clearly Peter died, but I wasn't expecting him to be like that emotionally heartbroken, like dying, like, you know, like, oh my god, I don't want to go, like, save me. Like, wow, this is great acting from Tom Holland. And, you know, some people say that the scene from Homecoming where he's under the rubble, and him trying to get out and he's screaming, that was really acting like a pro in that scene, I think was a great job. But I think this part, that little section, beat that part from Homecoming. Although one gripe, I just want him to at least say one thing about either Aunt May or Uncle Ben while fading away while Tony Stark was there. That would have been really cool. Like, "Mr. Stark, I'm so sorry. Tell Aunt May," and then he would, like, you know, fade away. Or maybe, like, "I'm sorry, Uncle Ben," like, under his breath, and then fade away. I just think that would be a cool little touch. But still, I think that all the acting overall from everyone, like I brought up in the non-spoiler part of the review, was phenomenal. Thor was a great part about the movie. He was in it way more than I thought he was going to be. And he totally, I think he was a showstopper. I mean, I loved Robert Downey Jr.'s performance as Iron Man, especially when he was interacting with Doctor Strange the whole time. And, of course, Spider-Man as well, and the Guardians themselves on Titan. That was a great, great scene as well. Fighting Thanos on Titan was epic. Some shots weren't in the movie, though. The whole shot of Spider-Man diving through the debris, they edited it for the trailer, but in the reality of the movie, he's saving Mantis while swinging through, and he's saving everybody with his Iron Spider tentacles, or the metal arms. Going in, you know, I am not a huge fan of the Iron Spider suit, but I don't hate it like some other people do. Like, this suit is, the colors don't match, it looks like they just threw everything on there. I don't think that. It did look a little bit CG at some points, a little too CG, but I think that the moments where they're fighting Thanos and he's going in and out through Doctor Strange's portals, that was sick. And then he calls him Insect and then throws him away, that was awesome. But wow, I mean, all these sequences with equalizing everyone's screen time,
actually showcasing the powers of everyone in an equal way. Like Thor, you know, he lost his hammer in Ragnarok, so it shows this little arc of him teaming up with Rocket and Groot. And also Peter Dinklage, who's a giant dwarf in the movie, which was hilarious. Morphing the Stormbreaker hammer. And then the handle itself is made out of one of Groot's, you know, tree, you know, bark wrap things, which is awesome. The wooden handle, I love that. Wow, though, I really wasn't expecting that big finale where everyone was in Wakanda, and, you know, they're like two separate teams. So weirdly enough, they didn't have Iron Man interact with Captain America. It was just they were, like he said, they're broken up. Like the Beatles, they're broken up like a band. So that's why he was hesitant to call Steve. And then they had that whole fight with Ebony Maw on Earth. And then they also fought, the big guy, Obsidian, I think that's his name. I only know, Proxima Midnight, Ebony Maw, and Corvus Glaive, I think it is, was the thinner, kind of more vicious-looking children of Thanos, and also the big guy, Obsidian something. If I forgot their names, I'm sorry, airplane flying over my house too. But I think that the way on how they just handled all these fight scenes, all these great in-depth battles between, oh my god, is Doctor Strange gonna die on this ship with the gross, like, saw torturing thing? Was phenomenal. And even though I did find it a bit weird, you know, of course they're in space, so it's easy to work this out. But, you know, like, oh, you know, the kids seeing more movies, and then bam, they have the airlock kind of, or the side of the ship burst open, and then, you know, Squidward just flies out, and he's, you know, he died. So they just got him easily. Same thing with, Proxima Midnight and, Corvus Glaive. They just, like, you know, they had cool fight sequences in the other parts of the movie, like in Scotland. I believe that's where they were, where Scarlet Witch and Vision were fighting Proxima Midnight and Corvus Glaive, and all of a sudden, boom, out of nowhere, Captain America and Black Widow and Falcon show up, and they've been on the run since Civil War, and, you know, that's what we see where, you know, like, you're hoarding these criminals, Colonel Rhodes, where you're from us, you're just as bad as they are, and then they come in, and they're like, I got nothing to hide, you know, whatever Thunderbolt Ross is, he's not a general anymore. He's like a secretary or something like that. So it's like, oh, you know, Mr. Ross, you know. So they do that, and he's like, sure, I'll go arrest him, and he just like deletes the hologram call, and then, you know, they're back to speaking terms. So, you know, it's a really cool, resolved, connecting storyline that continued from Civil War and the other Avengers movies and all the other MCU movies, of course, and they made it work. And, you know, it's crazy to think that a span of 10 years worth of movies getting into this, where it actually has characters that have thought out storylines that make sense, that connect with the audience, that are relatable to everyone, and that can still be shown off in an equal amount of time for everyone, is nothing short of amazing. Like, the way on how Marvel was able to do all that was fantastic. And of course, that was just kind of my recap of the main parts. The Wakanda fight, the Titan fight, the Earth fight. All these fights were epic. And Iron Man's new armor, the Extremis armor, I think it is, I loved it. I think when I was first seeing the, you know, first trailer, I thought, huh, this doesn't really seem to be a armor that would make sense. Or how would it look on the final film? Because it's all like nanotech, it's CG. It's not really fully thought out like the other Iron Man armors were. Like, because the Iron Man armor in Age of Ultron looked very CG heavy. This one, though, was super cool. Like Thanos ripped off Iron Man's helmet and then just nanotech back up. I love that. And all the cool things like the shields and his blades and stuff. And Tony Stark got stabbed, which was crazy. And just all the acting, again, from everyone was phenomenal. Again, like I said in the non-spoiler part of the review, I think Thanos is the best villain, main character of this movie from Josh Brolin's performance. The best hero, I think, even though Thor was a really close second. I wish we got a little bit more time with Captain America, though, just to kind of know what he's been up to ever since Civil War up to now. But I loved Iron Man, absolutely. You know, since this all started with his movie in 2008, and seeing where we are now is fantastic, and I absolutely love the way Robert Downey Jr. performed as Tony Stark, and just the scenes with him interacting with Chris Pratt as Star-Lord, and also Chris Pratt as Star-Lord interacting with Thor. great. So many amazing chemistry moments with these characters that you wouldn't think would connect well. Like, oh, Winter Soldier and Rocket Raccoon? That's weird. And then they have this super cool team-up moment in the movie in Wakanda, and, you know, these epic fight scenes with Black Widow, Scarlet Witch, and Okoye from Wakanda, and it was crazy. And just seeing all these movies from the past and seeing this build up to this movie and the payoff that it has is absolutely worth it in my eyes. And I think that this is hands down. You know, I love Spider-Man movies. Spider-Man 2002 is my favorite Spider-Man movie. That's not in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You know, my favorite Marvel movie. As far as the MCU movies go, I think this is it. You know, everyone's probably going to say that now, like, this is the best Marvel movie of all time, and everyone says that every time another Marvel movie comes out. I believe it. I do think that Avengers Infinity War is the best Marvel movie to ever come out. The villain of Thanos, right when he's on screen, instantly wrecking Thor's ship from Ragnarok, and totally messing up Hulk extremely in instant. And it was great seeing that go down. And Josh Brolin, even though it's just CG, he nailed it. He nailed the performance of Thanos. And, you know, we thought, oh, this purple guy is just sitting on a throne. He's not going to be a problem. He is the baddest villain, the most intimidating villain I think we've ever seen in the MCU. You know, you could argue, funny enough, you could argue Vulture from Homecoming, or you could argue Killmonger from Black Panther. I love both those movies. You know, I love Homecoming and Black Panther in their own respect. Hela was alright in Ragnarok. You know, me personally, I loved Jeff Bridges as Ironmonger, as Obadiah Stane in the first Iron Man movie. Everyone kind of overlooks his performance. He was the best villain, in my opinion, from, like, Phase 1. Phase 2, Ultron was pretty dope, you know. James Spader as Ultron was fantastic in my eyes. The voice, the performance he carried as that, I think, was great. I think Guardians counts as a Phase 2 movie, I'm pretty sure. Ronan the Accuser, not all that much to talk about, but Ego. I think that's from Phase 3, though, but Ego, the Living Planet from Guardians of the Galaxy 2, was amazingly sinister. Like, once you figured out what happened in that movie, yeah, Kurt Russell nailed it as Ego, the Living Planet. But I think the biggest payoff from these movies, from this character that's been teased at since the first Avengers, and seeing, oh, we've been waiting this whole time, what's up? Here he is, wrecks everyone, and that was awesome seeing that go down. Sorry, another airplane flying over my house. But I think that the way on how you want equal time with these characters, and some say, you know, where I wanted more Bucky, or I wanted more Hulk, I wanted more Doctor Strange, you know, I think given how long the movie is, given what they have to do in the story, given what they have to accomplish in 2.5 hours, I think it was, I think they did a great job. And I think that the visual effects and the score are the best parts about this movie. The visual effects in Marvel movies are said to be kind of back and forth, especially from Black Panther. That's how I kind of saw it myself. That Black Panther wasn't really up to par in the visual effect department with Killmonger and Black Panther fighting at the end of the movie. I thought it was fine in the chase in, was it Korea? I don't know. They were somewhere and they were chasing these black SUVs, these cars. They were chasing Claw, and that, I think, was a great sequence. But the Killmonger fight, where he turned into the Golden Jaguar, that looked a bit not as up to par. The Vulture fight in Spider-Man Homecoming, you know, Spider-Man and Vulture fighting, pretty good. You know, I think the CG for Spider-Man was a bit off as Spider-Man. For the character of Spider-Man in Homecoming, it was a bit off. Vulture himself looked phenomenal in that movie. I think Vulture was the most attentive character that they focused on when creating the CGI for Homecoming. Everyone from Thanos and the Black Order looked phenomenal, and the monsters, I know it's something riders, not Black Riders or Dark Riders or something, but something riders, you know, the monsters that they're fighting in Wakanda, phenomenal. I think this is what they were saving, you know, a lot of the CGI effects for, because, you know, on how much this movie said to have it for its budget. I think it $1 billion, or maybe less than that, I don't know, but it said that this movie had a crazy budget, and seeing what they did is absolutely nuts. So, 2 things I wanted to point out, maybe 3 things, for big moments of the story. 1, Red Skull! Wow, like, I wasn't expecting, that was, like, everyone in my theater, and I saw this on Sunday, so it was already 2 days after the main premiere, and Red Skull pops out of nowhere on the Vormir, wherever they were, on the planet where they're trying to find the Soul Stone. wow, Red Skull's back. I need to see like a bunch of videos to figure out how he got there and how he was able to fly and all this stuff. Or you guys can let me know in the comments if you know more about this than me. Wow, that was a really cool, non-expected twist. Because sometimes I can see these twists happening in some of these Marvel movies, like the Vulture being Liz's dad in Homecoming. That was a big twist I wasn't expecting. I think the twist in Black Panther, though, like they were cousins. I think I was expecting something like that they were related somehow, Killmonger and T'Challa. But this twist of Red Skull being on this planet after 7 years, you know, since the first Captain America movie came out was awesome. And also, Captain Marvel tease at the end as the post-credit scene is Captain Marvel, so of course, not really that big of a tease because we knew her movie was coming out in 2019, I think, and I think it said that Avengers 4, Infinity 4, is coming out May 2019. So we got a little over a year, a month and a year to wait for the next Avengers movie to figure out what the hell is going to happen with everyone who died, quote unquote. I'm sure they'll be brought back somehow. But wow, you know, you know, the third thing, I guess, you know, Red Skull, Captain Marvel, and I guess Spider-Man. You know, I was saying, like, wouldn't it be crazy if they killed off Spider-Man in Infinity War? But I'm like, well, Tom Holland's only been in 2 movies, you know, with Civil War and Homecoming, and now this. So, if I'm blanking on something, I don't think I am, but let me know if I am. But yeah, Civil War, Homecoming, this. Yeah, he's played Spider-Man 3 times. I'm like, well, even though he's played him 3 times already, he's had 1 full movie, and we're expecting Spider-Man 2 in 2019 or 2020, you know, Spider-Man Homecoming 2, whatever it's going to be called. That's the next sequel for the Marvel Cinematic Universe Spider-Man movies that are going to come out. He's going to have a sequel, and he's going to be, like, globe-trotting. I find that a bit weird, so he'll be, like, in London somehow. So you're like, oh, so he's not going to die. He dies, straight up. So I found his performance as Spider-Man to be really well done in this movie. I think the one problem I would say, I guess, like I said, I wish there was a little bit more scenes fleshing out Captain America and Black Widow and the Wakanda team, I guess they're called, the main Civil War team, like Black Widow, Captain America, and Falcon. They were on the run. They're back. He has a beard. It's been 2 years, they say, you know, since Civil War, clearly, since Scarlet Witch and Vision are together. Vision's a human. Doesn't really explain that. I know there's probably a lot of theory videos and you know, in-depth analysis videos on how he's able to turn human and why Black Widow's hair is blonde, which kind of threw me off a bit, but that's just nitpicking, obviously. But the main movie itself, storyline, I think was handled really well. Thanos is the main character of this movie, hands down. I think, you know, even though each of the Avengers are mainly included within this story, Thanos, I think, is the main character, and his story was just so well written, and Josh Brolin definitely adds to that. And you see where he's coming from, you know, he's like, my planet died out, so, and it's because of kind of like overpopulation and the race of people not caring for the planet. So if I take out half the universe, then it will give me a chance to try and rebuild and stuff like that. So I think they handled it really well, and I love the narrative aspect that they took for Thanos, for the Black Order, and for all the Avengers in the movie, and clearly this is the best Marvel movie ever made. And the title of this video, of course, was it worth it? Was Avengers Infinity War worth it? After 10 years, after Iron Man 1 to now, I would say yes. I would say it was absolutely worth it. I think this is my favorite Marvel Cinematic Universe movie of all time, next to Civil War, Iron Man 1. Spider-Man Homecoming isn't on the list. I like the movie, you know. I like Spider-Man 2002 more than Homecoming. I know I'm going to get a lot of flack from that. But the other movies, like Captain America Winter Soldier, Iron Man 1, Ant-Man, Civil War, and this, and I'm super blanking. Thor Ragnarok, of course, and Guardians of the Galaxy. So many great stories of all these characters, of all these years of filmmaking, and seeing how they collectively brought it to one singly structured narrative. They did it, and I can't believe that they did do it, and I think that the way on how they left it off, where Thanos is smiling, he got what he wanted, he did it, he snapped his fingers, half the universe is dead, Nick Fury's dead, Maria Hill's dead, the only Guardian that's left alive is Rocket, half the Avengers are gone, you know, the main ones, I'm glad Cap didn't die. I think I'll be upset if Cap did die. But, you know, Cap's alive, Black Widow's alive, Hulk is alive, War Machine is alive, Tony's alive, Nebula's alive, and someone else is alive too, but Okoye. But I think that, if I'm forgetting anyone, let me know. But I think that remaining team taking on Thanos, wow. And I love the kind of showcase of, you know, it started with Iron Man and really driving the point, like, you know, we could go back to Earth when they were on the Ebony Maw's ship, or we could take the fight to him, because like 6 years ago he messed up New York, and this is what happened. He's coming back, so he was still devastated by what happened in the first Avengers movie, and considering how they fought on Titan with that epic fight and the ending result that happened where, you know, everyone died pretty much, was great. And I just found every moment to be hit, what's happening next, bigger, better, much more intense. I never cried, though. Some people said that they cried during the Spider-Man scene. Again, me, sadly, I got spoiled with the Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good line and the snap, so I was expecting those. But if I were to not see that, I don't know if I would have cried. I didn't cry during the homecoming scene with the Rubble. I did shed a tear, though, when Gwen Stacy died in Amazing Spider-Man 2. Like, I didn't, like, weep my eyes out, but I was like, oh my god. Like, wow. But I think what did hit me, though, is where Star-Lord finds out that Thanos killed Gamora in order to get the Soul Stone, and, you know, people are saying, like, Star-Lord is the most idiotic person in the universe, because since he hit Thanos, that caused Mantis to lose her grip, and then they didn't get the Infinity Gauntlet off of Thanos, because they were about to get it off, and then the last second he wakes up, and then they, you know, they mess up. So, because Star-Lord hit him in the head, he won. But that's because revenge got to him. But I love that scene between them, because there was, like, multiple scenes with Star-Lord and Gamora and Thanos. Like, you know, like, you promised, and then he was about to kill her, and then Thanos just made his gun shoot out bubbles. And, you know, he got her, which is nuts. And just the way on how they did it, and how the connection between Star-Lord and Gamora and these characters, with Tony saying, like, I know what you're feeling, but don't, you know, don't give into it. Like, steady up, ease up, focus. And I loved it. And I think they handled it in a great way. And I would definitely see this movie again. Black Panther, I saw it once. I don't think I would need to see it again. Thor Ragnarok, I saw it once. I don't think I would need to see it again. Homecoming, I've seen twice. But that's because I wanted to get a better grasp of the movie to review it fully. But I wouldn't see it again. When I say see it again, I guess I mean buy it on DVD or Blu-ray, you know, or buy it digitally. I don't think I would buy it. But this movie, considering everything that's been building up to this, I think I would definitely buy this movie. This movie was great, and I loved everyone in it, and I think that the performances that they did with each other and with these characters was phenomenal. So anyways, guys, those are all my thoughts on Avengers Infinity War. Obviously, no Hawkeye or Ant-Man and the Wasp, of course, but Ant-Man and the Wasp is said to take place before this movie, and Hawkeye was like, you know, Hulk directly brought up, hey, where's Barton? And he's like, oh, last time I checked, he was hanging out with Scott Lang, doing some stuff. So he's with Ant-Man, so that means he'll probably show up in Ant-Man and the Wasp, and we'll see how that, you know, follows up to this movie, and if that gives us kind of a clue to Avengers 4, you know, because since Ant-Man and the Wasp takes place before Avengers Infinity War, I don't know if they're going to show a Easter egg or something that would lead up to Avengers 4. Still, I loved it. I think this movie was great. Sorry that the entire time I'm recording this, my face is like half shadow, half light. I don't know why it's like that. My lighting in my room is terrible. But those are all my thoughts, guys. This movie was great. And like my dad said, he'd give it like a 5 out of 5 stars. I give it a 5 out of 5 stars as well. I like to rate games out of 10 and movies out of 5. I don't know why. But that's it, guys. Those are my thoughts. And definitely go see this movie, of course, if you haven't already. Was it worth it? Yes. Yes, it was. But anyways, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Stay tuned for more Radioactive Replay videos. Hopefully a Radioactive review. And, you know, just more awesome stuff. But anyways, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Stay spectacular, Spidey fans. Peace out.